We're tracking a breaking news alert out of Lexington where the coroner is on the scene of a deadly fiery crash.
Just total devastation, but we're blessed, and I'm thanking the Lord that my son's alive and my fiance's alive, I'm alive.
A Southern Kentucky family is without a place to stay after a fire rips through their home.
And scammers pouncing in the wake of a hack on a health insurance company. What to watch for to keep your information safe.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. WKYT News starts now with breaking news.
Good evening to you. We are tracking two breaking news alerts tonight. We begin with a deadly crash here in Lexington.
The coroner's office has been called to the scene of a fiery three-vehicle crash on Versailles Road. It happened about 4 o'clock today at the intersection of Westmoreland Road. And that's where we find our Victor Puente tonight. He's live at the scene where police have shut down Versailles Road. Victor?
Well, the coroner has confirmed that one person died in this crash. He said accident reconstruction investigators should be at this scene for hours. I'm going to step out of the way and show you what we're dealing with here. Coroner Gary Ginn says 3 cars were involved in this crash. He says one of those cars caught fire, including the one with the fatality. Several other people were taken to the hospital. He wasn't sure how bad those injuries were. He said one of those people who were taken away is a friend of his who tried to get that person out of the burning car but was unsuccessful. Now, as for traffic in this area, there's a big backup in both directions. Traffic being detoured at Man o' War. They're letting some drivers take Old Frankfort Road, but if you're coming to this area, you're going to have to wait. The best bet is to avoid this area if you can. Again, what the coroner said, actually 2 vehicles caught fire, 1 person dead that we know of. Live in Lexington, Victor Puente, WKYT.
All right, Victor, thank you. That tragic situation there. Now, we're also tracking breaking news out of Clark County where a tanker truck flipped over on its side on Kentucky 627 near the Bourbon County line. Police expect 627 to be closed for several hours as they work to clean up that scene. They tell us that diesel fuel is leaking out of the tanker. The driver was taken to the hospital. A hazmat crew is on the scene as a precaution.
Well, thankful to be alive. A Southern Kentucky family is without a home tonight after a fire destroyed the apartment they were living in.
That fire broke out this morning on Barberville Street in Corbin. No one was hurt, but the tenants say they lost nearly everything. Phil Pendleton shows us what happened in our top story at 5:30.
This is 32 years old.
They are saving what they can.
Like your diplomas, stuff like that, you know. That's what I'm trying to salvage.
Everything's gone.
Scott Heron and his fiance got out as fire raced through their upstairs apartment on Barberville Street just after 9 o'clock Monday morning.
Just total devastation, but we're blessed, and I'm thanking the Lord that my son's alive and my fiance's alive, I'm alive, and my dog's alive.
Fire follows another one several weeks ago that the fire department says is suspicious. This one is under investigation.
I just can't see someone coming and trying to burn us or anything, you know, so.
Heron says he wonders if an electrical problem is to blame because he says no heaters were on.
We got a 22-month-old son, so, you know, it's really hard. Everything, all his stuff, all his toys, clothes, shoes, just his baby books, his lots of hair, you know, his pictures are irreplaceable.
Their home gone. Heron says he has no idea where they're going to live tonight.
Just happened. We haven't, I don't know of anywhere. I was going to see what's available or whatever. I was just going to maybe try Red Cross or Corbin United. I don't know. I've never been through this.
In Corbin, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
And the Corbin Fire Department says they were able to get to the house within minutes. No one was hurt fighting the fire.
A teenager was seriously injured after falling off a cliff. Our county-by-county coverage at 5:30 begins in Pulaski County. Emergency and rescue crews say the 15-year-old boy fell off a cliff near Lake Cumberland. Rescue crews say the teen was hunting when he slipped on leaves and fell about 200 feet. Rescuers had to climb down to him, and then they took him down another 100 feet to the lake so they could airlift him out.
So a lot of them are straight down cliffs that slope off from one level to the next level to the next level, and that's what made it so hard. A lot of them, you got briar patches, you have logs that have fallen over, water running over the bank, mud sliding down the bank. So anything, the worst possible situation you can imagine, that's about what it was.
Rescue crews say the teenager has a broken leg and his arm is broken in 2 places, but he is expected to be okay. In Madison County, deputies have arrested a man they say has been breaking into cars. Police say at least 7 people in the Battlefield Estate subdivision noticed that their cars have been broken into last week. The sheriff's office says they received information on their Facebook page. That information then led them to 25-year-old Jonathan Walker. Deputies found an unopened PlayStation in Walker's car that was bought with a credit card that was stolen from one of those cars. And in Knox County, a man is accused of making meth in a home with 3 small children around. 34-year-old Dale Valentine is charged with manufacturing methamphetamine, drug paraphernalia, and endangering the welfare of a minor. Deputies found tools to make meth inside a closet in a bedroom in the home. The 3 children were released to their mother.
A new warning today from the Better Business Bureau about last week's data breach at Anthem Insurance. Jennifer Palumbo is at the live desk with what to look out for. And Jennifer, this affects a lot of people.
It does, Sam. Hackers were able to steal personal information from tens of millions of current and former Anthem customers and employees. And now those people may be targeted again. The stolen information included birthdays and social security numbers. Thieves can use those to assume your identity and open credit accounts. Heather Clary with the Better Business Bureau office in Lexington says it's no surprise that scammers are now trying to cash in as well.
Sure enough, the con artists have pounced right on that and are starting to send the phishing scams to try to add insult to injury, steal more information from consumers by pretending to be Anthem.
Clary says Anthem is not emailing people affected by the data breach. Instead, the nation's second largest health insurer is sending letters in the U.S. mail. They'll explain the free credit monitoring and ID theft protection. Clary says the best way to avoid becoming a victim is not to open any attachments in emails. Just call Anthem or go to its website directly. At the live desk, Jennifer Palumbo, WKYT.
Jennifer, thank you. Clary also says some people are taking it one step further and putting a security freeze on their credit report. That means no accounts can be opened until the freeze is lifted.
Temperatures have certainly taken a big tumble from what we saw this past weekend.
But this drop in temperatures is just the beginning, folks. Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey is talking about just how low it will go with this Arctic air coming this way.
Yeah, coming at us in waves. The first little wave we're getting out there today is just a seasonal brand of cold weather. It's what comes down the road Thursday and into the coming Valentine's Day weekend that will get a lot of folks' attention. Likely to be some of the coldest we've had the entire winter. Look outside, though, right now. Concentrate on what we are seeing on your Richmond and your Lexington sky cams. That is a little bit of some ice now showing up as temperatures are below freezing, down to 30 in Lexington with some drizzle. That's freezing drizzle and a touch of some light snow trying to mix in. So Defender, it's just a little bit of mist. It's water droplets that with temperatures below freezing will freeze on contact. So some freezing drizzle or what I call a little snizzle. That's a snow drizzle mix out there this evening. That can cause some issues on bridges and overpasses. Defender across most of the area, not picking up on a whole lot. A lot of overcast conditions for Kentucky and across the entire area. That's why we're going to be hard pressed to get rid of a lot of the clouds tonight into tomorrow. But when I come back in less than 10 minutes, the focus of the forecast on the bitterly cold temperatures on the way for later this week into the weekend, and I'll show you why that is likely to bring at least some snow chances back into town. That's in less than, again, 10 minutes.
All right, Chris, we'll see you then. We have another traffic alert to pass along to you. Starting tonight, some Lexington roads will be closed for construction. It is all part of the widening project on Leestown Road. At 7 tonight, crews will close part of Alexandria Drive at Viley Road to set the beams for the new bridge structure. And on Friday and Saturday, part of Old Frankfort Pike will also be closed. Construction continues on the Mountain Parkway expansion project near Magoffin County. Workers have cleared trees on the side of the road, and this week crews will start to clear the land along the parkway, and they'll do that by blasting the area. And while crews are blasting, they will stop traffic for about 15 minutes each day.
It's so much better now than it was 22 years ago, so that was an improvement, and I'm sure that this will be an improvement for this locality and on Prestonsburg or Pikeville.
Officials tell us they don't know how long crews will be working in the area, but they do say that there will only be one blast per day.
Most of us would love to have an easy way to earn some extra money on the side, but that desire for extra cash is luring an increasing number of people into an international scam of enormous proportions.
I was looking for like a part-time job to kind of fill in for the income that I was earning already to try to make ends meet.
Carla went online, found a job site that looked reputable, and sent an application. Carla was offered a package management position paying up to $1,200 a month.
Go to Best Buy and pick up an iPad, and that they would, they had already purchased it or paid for it. I just needed to go pick it up, and then I was to print out the labels, the mailing labels, and then go ahead and proceed to mail it to the designated place they had told us to mail it to.
After the initial pickup, packages just started coming to Carla's home. Not what she expected, but again, it was easy.
Everything was delivered by mail. And then from there, I would take the packages, open them, inspect them, take the labels off that was on the package originally, and then put the new labels on.
When she started sending packages to Russia, she became suspicious.
Are you guys legitimate? What's going on? You know, when am I getting paid for what I've done so far? And
her gut was right. A clerk at the post office told her she was likely caught in the middle of a reshipping scheme.
I felt used. You know, I trusted them with something that I felt was a legitimate business.
What they're doing is they're purchasing items with stolen credit cards and having them sent to your house.
As more and more people search for ways to earn some extra income, postal inspectors say the reshipping scam is luring an increasing number of unsuspecting victims.
I've had victims who were excited about this kind of a job. They were excited that it was something they could do, and then when they find out it's a scam, their hopes are dashed.
Postal inspectors recommend you do a thorough background check on any company you plan to work for. Check with the Better Business Bureau and the state's Attorney General where the business is based.
Follow WKYT online at WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
We are getting a look at some of the bills being discussed in the Kentucky legislature.
Bill Bryant talks to Senate President Robert Stivers about what bills could be heading to the governor's desk in the bottom line.
Good evening. As of this afternoon, the Kentucky legislature has sent no bills to Governor Beshear's desk. The only thing that has passed both chambers, a resolution to adjourn a couple of weeks between early January and early February. But leaders continue to say they will get some important things done. Republican Senate President Robert Stivers and Democratic House Speaker Greg Stumbo say there will be a bipartisan attack on the skyrocketing overdose deaths from heroin. And Stivers acknowledges that even some tax increase opponents in his party are concerned about the state road funds, which are set to dwindle because the tax rates automatically rise and fall with the wholesale price of gasoline.
We can't maintain, nor can we construct new roads unless we have a good stream of funding. And there's another factor, we're getting more efficient cars, and so there's less use of gas.
Stivers says there's a move to create a floor for the gasoline tax. The full interview with Stivers available on demand at KentuckyNewsmakers.com. Governor Steve Beshear and the Democrats' likely nominee for governor this year, Jack Conway, held a party unity meeting this afternoon at their headquarters in Frankfort. Over the weekend, Patrick Hughes was unanimously selected to succeed Dan Logsdon as party chairman. Hughes is an attorney from Edgewood in northern Kentucky. Republican Texas Senator Ted Cruz inching toward a run for the White House and comes out of the same segment of the party as that of Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. Cruz made the rounds on weekend interview shows, making the case that President Obama's economic policies have only helped the rich. He says the top 1% of Americans earn more of the country's income than at any point since 1928. U.S. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell endorsed State Representative Mike Harmon of Danville for Kentucky Auditor today. McConnell called Harmon a man of character and a proven leader. Harmon is hoping to upset Democratic Auditor Adam Edlin, who is considered a rising star in his party. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
Someone in Georgetown is $200,000 richer tonight.
We are told a winning cash ball ticket was sold Friday night at Clark's Pump Shop in Georgetown. Lottery officials say the winner has been playing the same set of numbers since Cash 5 began in 1991. Cash 5 was replaced with Cash Ball in 2001. The winner says they've never missed a drawing.